Hello. Welcome into the PHNX Bets Daily Podcast, presented to you by the DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's top-rated sportsbook. Like, subscribe, leave us a 5-star wherever you get your podcast. It's World Cup Day. USA, Iran, kicking off in just a matter of minutes. I'm Johnny Venerable, joined by Shawn DePaz, live at the PHNX studios in downtown Phoenix. Shawn, we got a banger of a matchup today.
We do.
Hoping to advance out of their, what I'm told is called a Group B. We're going to get to our preview in just a hot minute, but we have to recap my picks from last night. Obviously, the Steelers taking it to Matt Ryan and the Indianapolis Colts. Here were my picks from yesterday. I liked the Steelers money line, cha-ching, plus 125. However, more points than I expected. So the under just missed. I think the total was right around 40, 41. So I was closer than old Shano, who did have the under, but I think he had the Steelers to cover, but not win outright. Or excuse me, the Colts to cover. So that obviously didn't hit. So Shano went 0 for 2. You absolutely hate to see it. My props on the evening did not look good. Najee Harris was going to have a big night. Then he got hurt. Benny Snell came in and actually ran the rock really well for Pittsburgh. Pat Freiermuth, anytime touchdown. He was close. He went out at like the 2-yard line in the third quarter. So plus 280 did not hit, unfortunately. So
sad.
That's no good.
Yeah, Pat Freiermuth got me fantasy points, enough fantasy points to beat Bo. So I'll take it, even if he didn't get the touchdown.
I think for those of you who care, and it's probably a select few, Daddy Fantasy won. Shawn took care of business. Michaela took care of business against our friend Cheerson Susel. So I have a 2-game lead. I am no longer in the bottom 3. I think it is now virtually impossible for me to have to face the repercussions of Waffle House. So kudos to me. Actually, only one spot away from a postseason berth, too. Funny how the tables turn. I had to get my dub where I can get it. Let's look at Shane's props. I think he was phasing Jonathan Taylor. I don't think that went well. No, he was phasing Najee Harris. That did go well. The Matt Ryan long completion, I'm going to be honest with you, I have no idea if that hit.
I honestly don't know either.
Here, hang on. The longest reception for a Colts player, Michael Pittman, I think had 28 yards. So I think Shane went 2 for 2 on his props, 0 for 2 on his picks. So I'll give him credit. Brandon in the chat saying took the same game parlay. This looks very familiar with your boy. USA money line over 1.5 goals, pull a chick goal. I love to see that. I love to see the engagement on DraftKings. And Shawn, we are ready for what is, I think, the biggest soccer game in United States, probably recent history. Is that fair to say?
I mean, it's easy to say, but since the last time they were in the World Cup, but since their last match against Belgium, where Tim Howard had to become the greatest goalie on the planet to give the U.S. a chance, obviously they ultimately lost, but it is one of the biggest games. It's the biggest game for like the new era of U.S. soccer, I would say. Like, you got all these young kids now, most of which were not on that last World Cup team. It's definitely a watershed moment for the U.S. men's national team, I'd say.
Yeah, that last World Cup team, it's been a hot minute. They didn't make the last World Cup, which was low-key embarrassing. But they're back. They're back, and you can bet on them on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. And speaking of which, listen, there are so many bangers for novices like me to go out there and not bet for free, but damn near close with all the boosted props that we're seeing. And we're going to talk about my favorite boosted prop of the day here in a minute. But if you've been dabbling on the DraftKings Sportsbook app like I have over the holiday weekend, oh my goodness, DraftKings had a banger promotion over Thanksgiving break, which was great. You got $150 in free bets if you bet on DraftKings. And then they've got a new promotion now. I'm not sure if you guys have seen this or not, but this NBA boost that's going on, it's been heating up like Devin Booker and the Phoenix Suns. Basically, all you have to do, Shawn, is download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, use that promo code PHNX, place a $5 pregame moneyline bet on any NBA team to win their game, get $150 in free bets if they do. That's promo code PHNX. Again, $5 pregame moneyline bet on any NBA team to win their game. Not cover the spread, but just to win outright. You get $150 in free bets instantly. That's promo code PHNX only at the DraftKings Sportsbook. Minimum age and eligibility restrictions apply. See show notes for details. All right, Shawn, I'm a novice bettor when it comes to soccer. Give me all the information I need to know when dabbling on the World Cup, and specifically this matchup with USA and Iran.
I mean, first off, Iran's not that good. They had 6 goals put up on them by England. They've allowed 5+ shots on goal in both their game against England and Wales. So they get battered around a little bit. US is not a very necessarily aggressive team. Like they scored 1 goal in the first game, none in the second game. They had 1 shot on goal in each of those games. So as we see when we get to my picks, I'm predicting I mean, it's soccer, but I'm predicting a low scoring affair, a 1-0. But it'll be interesting to see how this goes. This is, like I said, this is a big moment for U.S. soccer, but it's a lot of young kids on this team, so it'll be interesting to see how they kind of handle that moment.
What happens if they lose today? The United States, let's say, Iran right now, you can get them at plus 310 on DraftKings. Let's say the unthinkable happens and the United States loses. Are they done? Do they get to continue playing? What happens?
I believe they're done. I don't think there's a way for them to make it with a loss because they are currently in third with 2 points. If they lost, they would not be able to make it with a loss. So they at least need a draw, because they need to win. Never mind, they need to win. Yeah,
they can't draw. They cannot lose, obviously. They need to win, and we're going to bet on the old red and white and blue today. I believe Shawn and I are on the same page, thank God, because I can't argue with him. I told him before the show. If he's anti-America today on this show, we're going to have problems. Let's go with my picks first. It is a banger of a boosted prop on DraftKings. Let's get to the pick first of all. USA money line minus 105. Again, I mentioned Iran plus 310. If you're going to do a bet show and you're going to take Iran over the United States, just for the plus 310, I can't help you. But thankfully, Shawn and I aren't doing that.
Yeah, no. It'll be an upset if Iran wins. We can go to my picks. Like I have US money line minus 105, and then I also have correct score US to win 1-0. Like I mentioned, US is not getting a whole lot of shots on goals. Only 1 goal in their 2 games so far. 2 total shots on target so far in this World Cup. And you saw it against Wales. They got the goal and then they kind of got a little passive. Hopefully that doesn't bite them in the ass the way it did against Wales. But I could see them scoring early, like, around 30th minute type thing, and then kind of just parking the bus a little bit, playing a little passive for the rest of the game, and hopefully squeaking out with a 1-0 win.
I dig it. I also dig my props. How about this one? Plus 500 if you take the USA money line. If our guy Christian is an anytime scorer, he's their best player, so why not, right? And then over 2.5 goals, I think total for the United States. For the United States, I got to go over 2.5 goals at plus.
No, I think that's just total. I think
for the game,
I believe
that's
so.
even better.
Yeah, it's just total goals for the game, which a 2-1 win for the U.S. has not been an uncommon prediction, so I wouldn't be too surprised.
Pulisic is their best scorer, is he not?
I mean, Tim Weah scored the first goal. Pulisic can be a lot of things. He can score. He has in the past for his clubs, but he can also be a little bit of a facilitator. I just think for me, you look at kind of the history of U.S. soccer. Their biggest stars step up in the biggest moments when they need to. Like I mentioned, it was Tim Howard against Belgium. Landon Donovan had one of the biggest goals. Obviously, Clint Dempsey was one of the greatest soccer players. Like the big names are the guys that step up in big moments for the U.S. men's national team. And if the U.S. wins today, I think that's going to have to be the case again. And obviously, Christian Pulisic is the biggest name on this squad. So I'm maybe buying into the storyline a little bit, but it is kind of just the history of the U.S. men's soccer team and the women's soccer team. To be honest, in big moments, their big players are the ones that step up. So I'm thinking that's what's going to happen again today. Star
players win championships. If that's taught me anything else in any other sport, Shawn, what do you like?
I'm right there with you with the Pulisic anytime goal scorer. I might be a little bit too much of a sucker for the storyline, but like I said, the big stars step up in big moments, and I think that happens again today. It just I can visualize it. And then Pulisic over 2+ shots on target. Like I said, the U.S. has only had 1 shot on target in each of these 2 games that they've played. But Iran has allowed 5+ shots in both of their games. Shots on target in both of their games. like I think Christian Pulisic is going to feel that moment a little bit and feel like he has to make something happen, and so he's going to be around the ball, around the net a lot, kind of in scoring areas. And so I think even if this game ends in a draw, you can kind of not exactly hedge, but kind of hedge on Christian Pulisic at least being involved in the action and getting at least 2 shots on target.
You heard it from the man himself. Bank on it. USA going all the way today out of their group. And you should hang with this group, PHNX, all day today. PHNX Sun Devils live, 2 p.m. today. Still on that high from the new coaching hire. We've got some transfers coming out of Oregon. Could dabble with some future Sun Devils. Who knows? That's exciting. What else is on tap for ASU this afternoon, Shawn?
2 p.m. We've got all-city athlete and ASU running back Daniel Ngata joining the show.
Awesome.
As far as I'm aware, he'll be the first Sun Devil athlete to speak publicly since the hiring of Kenny Dillingham. Wow. So that'll be a pretty good conversation. What
a get for PHNX. Yeah. Wouldn't expect anything less. Audio-only podcast. PHNX Cardinals dropping later today. Myself, Bo Brock. Dun-dun-dun-dun. We have to start looking at mock drafts because the Cardinals are not very good. Not very good at football, but we had a show yesterday. You can check out right now on our YouTube page. Subscribe on PHNX_sports, wherever you get your podcasts. For Shawn, I'm Johnny Venerable. We're back mañana. Maybe Shane comes back. Hopefully we can gloat over a U.S. victory and start prepping for our next group. But for Shawn, I'm Johnny Venerable. We'll see you tomorrow.